Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nursing Now podcast. My name is Janelle McSwiggin, and I'll be your host. This is a really brief introduction to the podcast before we dive into the meat of the episodes, just to have you figure out what the podcast is about and who I am. So this is a podcast for nurses, by nurses. I like to say that I'm the opposite of an Eat Your Young nurse. I want you to feel included, supported, and connected. We can grow together in one community while you learn about all the aspects of nursing and not just the clinical side. This is a safe space for all nurses, regardless of credentials, experience, clinical background, specialty, and if you're even still practicing. If you're a nursing student or just a healthcare worker in general, you're welcome here too. You'll hear this theme over and over again, that we are just one nursing body regardless of credentials. LPN, RN, NP, it does not matter to me. You are welcome here, and I am happy to have you with me. You'll hear from real nurses who branched out to expand their careers, and this theme of you can do it will be evident over and over again. I'm a medical writer who decided to use their RN license in that capacity. I'm no one special. I'm not more intelligent than you. I'm not more tech savvy than you. I'm just someone that was burnt out and wanted a different career path away from the clinical bedside. I got really anxious and the burnout was really bad. And I was so desperate when I had the thought that I would be doing this for the next 30 years of my life that I had to find a way out. And that's what sparked my medical writing career. So it was out of desperation, not out of a spark of intelligence. So that's why I'll say over and over again that if I can do it, you can do it. I figured out a way to do it. So the podcast will be about 25 minutes in length because I know you guys are just as busy as I am. And we'll be going over different aspects of nursing that might not be covered in traditional podcasts. So we'll be going over remote work as well as mental health awareness for nurses. I know that burnout, anxiety, and depression is so prevalent in our specialty. And we'll also be diving into the reasons why that might be so prevalent. So we'll be talking about working conditions for nurses and how nurses can advocate for healthier work-life balances. We'll be having nurses as guests who have transitioned out of the bedside and into their different roles. So you'll be hearing from legal nurse consultants, myself as a medical writer, resume writers, as well as career coaches and everything in between, different entrepreneurs where they carve their path out. And you can decide if that's something that you're interested in doing. The podcast's mission is to empower bedside nurses interested in remote work and alternative career paths. Every step of the way, I'll be reminding you that we are more than just nurses. I hear this phrase over and over again. What do you do for work? Oh, I'm just a nurse. We are more than just a nurse. There's no other specialty that says, oh, I'm just an engineer. But nurses, time and time again, we put ourselves down with that just a nurse. It's time that we say we are nurses. We are capable. We are smart. We are dynamic. We are always looking at trends. We are the backbone of healthcare. We need to lean into that, and we need to understand what our strengths are and how crucial we can be to other fields, because we're incredibly important to healthcare. So I'll be reminding you that you are way more than just a nurse. You are an absolutely fabulous nurse, and you have so many skills that are transferable into other areas. And if you don't realize it, I will help you realize it. Another mission of the podcast is to unite nurses regardless of credentials and push back against nurses who eat their young. Again, I've talked to real nurses who have actually left the bedside because older, more experienced nurses have either not helped them or made it unapproachable. You will never find that with me. Every step of the way, I will be holding your hands, I will be cheering you on, and I will be your biggest resource. We can do this together because we are one nursing community united. I'll also be bringing up healthcare topics rooted in advocacy for nursing and their family because we deserve more. You deserve better. We shouldn't be burnt out at higher rates than any other career or profession. We shouldn't be abused at work, emotionally or physically. and we should have sustainable work-life balances. I'll also be educating you on industry news. I'll also be talking about industry news that might impact you directly, whether it's new insight into tech or shortages on supplies or any other thing that I think can change the landscape and impact you directly at the bedside. I'll be covering it. So you can always feel ahead and up to date instead of wondering where these changes are coming from. And most importantly, I'll be providing a safe space for nurses to come and vent about their workplace challenges. I get it. It's really hard. And not a lot of people understand what your days are like, but other nurses do. So this is going to be a safe place for that as well. And most importantly, I'll be inviting other dynamic nurses on the show to talk about their careers, to give you hope and insight for what your life could be like if you decide to make a change. There is nothing wrong with staying at the bedside, but it is important to remember that if you're unhappy, if you're depressed, if you're burnt out, if you're coming home and crying after your shifts, you don't have to. There are other ways that you can use your clinical license and you can be so much more valued in a different role if you feel like you're not valued right now. So that's going to be a major theme of this. I'll be featuring expert interviews from other nurses, nurse financial experts, and industry leaders, all while focusing on nursing and healthcare workers. We'll be sharing personal stories and practical tips for bedside nurses, including burnout and how to increase your resilience. I'll be going over remote work, especially medical writing, because that is my specialty. And I'll be going over how you can make the transition yourself if that's something that you decide to do. You'll learn self-care strategies for burnout, how to advocate for yourself, and common workplace issues for nurses as well. You'll also learn what to look for in a nursing job and when it might be time to leave. Upcoming episodes will go over understanding burnout, navigating remote work, and specifically medical writing is one of the next episodes, so keep an eye out for that. If you're on other platforms, so am I. I have the podcast, but I also have an Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube if you prefer to get your media different ways. And I'm also really active on LinkedIn. So connect with me if you are interested in that. And I also have free resources at willowbark. And I also have free resources at willowbarkwriting.com. I know everyone has a different budget, so I really believe in free content for people as well as paid resources. So again, that's willowbarkwriting.com. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and don't forget to tune in for the next episode. Thanks. Bye.